they generated literally thousands of brand names. But again, that's meaningless if you're not advertising. Because that's the way you're going to build an identity for your brand. That's how you're going to create a brand personality, is through advertising. I think it's great that they got the employees involved. There was a participative management process. That, I think, is great. But that, because that'll help employees get motivated and be engaged and so forth. But that there's some value in the name itself is not the case. But, so we want a brand name that's memorable. And it could be a name that we create. That's fine. In fact, it would be better because the second criteria that we're going to use is the protectability of the branding element. Right, so is it something that you could trademark? You can't keep people from using the word Google? Yeah, Google you can. I'll tell you why in a minute. But like the word Tide. Now Tide is the #1 market share laundry detergent in the US. You can't keep people from using the word Tide. What you could keep people from using is the lettering, the fonts that they use, right? Their logo. People can't just replicate their logo.
Like the big T and the block.
Right.
Like
so somebody can call it Tide but have a slightly different brand?
No, not slightly different. It would have to be very different.
Like it's got to be in script.
Right. So the thing is, that's the thing about the protectability is that, and in selecting, for example, a brand name or developing a logo, is that you have to keep in mind that it's something that you would want to be protectable, that you could have a trademark and that other people can't infringe upon.
Like Coca-Cola Red.
Well, the red is part of Coke's trade dress. So some companies have colors that are associated with their brand. It's not a requirement as part of a branding strategy, but if you have color that's closely associated with your brand, it could be very compelling. Yellow for Kodak. The packaging, for example. None of us want to admit it, but you know that when you go into a store, you could be 10 aisles away, you see this out of the corner of your eye, you know that it's Pepsi. Right? You can't help it. We try not to watch the commercials. We try to tell ourselves we're not going to be brainwashed, but you don't have to admit it in front of the class. But I know that you know that I know that that when you see this packaging out of the corner of your eye in the store, that you know that this is the Pepsi brand.
But how about the cap? Also, the cap is yellow. That's a way that you can recognize that it's a Pepsi, or a red cap, that's Coke, or green cap, Mountain Dew.
Aren't the yellow caps for kosher though? That's what I thought.
It's
I
for
know.
kosher for Passover.
Right. But
That's only during that time.
is it?
It's done, yeah. It's
I
done
thought it
like
was
April, May.
like
That's, you're right. That's
kosher,
exactly how it
yeah.
works. It's kosher for
Did they
Passover.
do that for Coke too?
Yep.
I know it on Coke, not on Pepsi.
I know on Coke, yeah, that they have the yellow caps.
Yeah, I think
All the
That's
Coke
what's
products that
kosher.
had yellow caps were kosher for Passover.
Interesting.
No, not just kosher regular, because they're not. It's made kosher.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was already.
But they
No,
replaced
but I'm
the
saying it was kosher for
The high
Passover.
fructose
Yeah.
corn syrup with, you know.
yeah with sugar films, which is healthy.
And that's why the packaging, when we advertise, whether it's in a magazine or on television, why we want to show the packaging. Because we want people to recognize the packaging when they see it at the point of purchase. When people go to the store, we want them to take the product off the shelf and just put it in their cart. It's a planned purchase, or even if it's an impulse purchase, they see it and immediately they identify the product and all these positive attributes and benefits and features come to mind. So we want the logo, we want the symbol, we want the brand name to be something that's protectable. Because this graphic is trademarkable. People can replicate that. If they do and they use it, then it will be infringing on the Pepsi trademark. They can't use this this logo. Now this logo though, what do you think? What do you think about this logo?
Pepsi.
Right, where it says Pepsi, the lettering.
It's too small.
Do you think,
It's not bold enough.
is it something that you think is unique? Is there more that they could do to make it protectable?
It looks like a font word.
Right, the font, it just looks like Arial font, which is very different from the very stylized Coca-Cola logo. Right, that is unmistakable, the script font. That's something that we need to take into account. We need to have a logo that's, of course, we want it to be readable, but it's stylized enough, it's unique enough that others can't copy it. So the more unique, the more stylized, the more protectable it is. And so other people can't use your logo. Because remember, if it's a word like Tide, anybody could call their product Tide. You can't trademark words that are in the dictionary. Now, Pepsi is not a word that's in the dictionary. So somebody can't introduce a product and name it Pepsi, or name it Kodak, or what are some other brands that? Which one? Snapple, right? McDonald's. No, but that's a good.
Too large of
You
Not
can
to
do
call a product
McDowell's,
McDonald's.
like in Coming to America.
What was that?
McDowell's. I don't know if you ever saw Coming to America. He wasn't McDonald's, he was McDowell's.
Oh no, I don't remember that. Eddie Murphy, right?
Yeah, the king of some African nation.
Yeah.
You know? There's
Now I'm curious. I have to
Burger
watch
King?
that. So Burger King, what do you think? Is that a good brand name? Burger.
King.
Burger King. You can't keep people from using those words. But what they did that's unique is they incorporated their logo and symbol into one. So the words burger and king are an angle, and it's between two buns. Right? That's very unique. But what was the one that you had mentioned?
McDowell's?
No, the other one that you were saying before.
Google or Snapple?
Google.
Yeah, Google.
Okay, this is the thing about Google. The way that Google spells their brand name is different from the mathematical term, which is what I was thinking. It was what I think you were alluding to, which is a Google, which is, I forget what it is, like a very large number. Right.
Google
It's a
it.
very large number, which is spelled different than the way their brand is spelled. Right? So their brand name is spelled in a unique way. Even though it's pronounced the same, it's spelled a different way.
What about like IKEA? Or
IKEA is not a word in the dictionary. That's unique.
well, then you also have the new one, the Ping.
Ping?
Yeah, Ping. That's trying to be in competition with the Google.
Oh. Hey.
And the letters look like the Pepsi letters.
Right. Yeah, I saw that. I'm thinking, ping. That might be a word that's in the dictionary.
Firefox.